I can add one thing, that we are training center too. And we train psychologists, and I think that in November, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, there is the information from National Health Service that all psychologists working in hospitals should be trained in perinatal care. And now we have first psychologist who wants to do that. We train 4 psychologists working in hospitals in different parts of Poland, and the cooperation is really, really good, because some hospices have only 1 psychologist, so it's very difficult to cover the needs of home care and perinatal care. Now we have 3. We are 3 in our hospice, so it's much, much easier. So if anybody wants to come to us, you are invited.
How long is the training?
Long.
Okay, it means?
Well, it means 20 days. But it's
I thought it's years.
No. It is one part. It's in hospice care, in hospice home care, which is really necessary for the psychologists who are working in hospitals, and then another 20 days working in USG clinic and with us, with the patient. So it's very, very practical, because you are visiting different wards in hospitals and then working with us. So long hours.
Jestli se nebudete ptát vy, tak já ten prostor vezmu. Kdo je zvědavý?
And it's free of charge, so the training.
Hello, thank you. That was very interesting. I work at a big delivery clinic or neonatal clinic in Prague, and we have nothing like that. And for me, it's a riot, and I would like to learn about it. But what is the communication? You say it's already so many years. The first information, when the mother is followed by a gynecologist, they go and have a sonogram. I guess that's how they usually find out, or a genetical test. So it is it the doctor who offers them a leaflet with your care, or how do they, what is the first?
Well, there are different
meeting?
ways, because as a hospice we're working more than 20 years, a lot of doctors in hospitals knows us. And we are on the website, so the parents can find information about perinatal care or psychological support by themselves. But we send the letters and information to all hospitals in Warsaw and to all genetical clinic and there's all stuff. So a lot of parents are coming from the leaflets and the information from the doctors. Yes.
Okay. So, thank you. So that's...
Thank you.
I would like to ask you, how do you work with the families who are grieving, and so what is the structure of the program?
That, as I mentioned before, there are 2 groups, and there are both programs there are support groups, not psychotherapy. There is not psychotherapy, but we decided that we should work a little bit shorter with the, let's say, perinatal group. So it starts in January 2015, and we decided that it will not take longer than 2 years. So, but nature and life is wiser than us. So it was shorter because how to say it in English? Because we decided that when the parents decided to try again, and they will be pregnant. I mean, lady, it's the end. Of course, this is just 2 or 3 farewell meetings. So it takes a little, I think, a year. So they are coming to us with the emotions, the problems they have, and they are sharing. And psychologist is kind of consultant, you know, a person who's keeping the meeting, I don't know how to say, kinds of limits of the meeting, but they are free to say what they really want. And there are meetings on Saturdays, twice a month, and it's about 3-4 hours. It depends on the number of parents. And of course, both parents are invited. But as probably you know, sometimes fathers avoid the meeting. But when we start, there were 5 or 6 couples, and both of them were coming on the meeting. It was very, very interesting. And if they want, we can invite chaplain, because we have a chaplain. We are trying not to push them, I don't know, I don't like to work, God as a psychotherapy, because there is not the way. But a lot of them is asking, because they have a lot of questions to God. So they think that chaplain, priest will help to answer or to find out some reasons. And but they still are in touch with us. Some, telephone, and if the lady is pregnant, very often they are coming to our consultant just to be sure that everything is all right, because they feel safe here. Yeah. And of course, attending the bereavement group is a part of training. I'm doing some PR.
So I have a short question, and the answer is probably long, but just shortly, can you tell us how do you work with the magical thinking?
4 years of training in psychotherapy. It depends on how much time we have. Sometimes it's only one meeting, so I need to do a lot of things. So I'm going just straight to the subject. I'm asking very straight questions, like with this, joy of being mother. I ask how smiles you should do, how your joy should look like. I don't know, you should jump 5 minutes, or I don't know, you should dance 20 minutes. We started to go very, very straight. And I needed to listen to the answers. Not only smile, but to the answers. And because going deeper on one meeting is impossible. So that's the reason why I'm trying to ask such questions. Very often at the beginning I'm listening, oh, I know it's not logical. I'm saying, it's not about logical or not logical. Please answer the questions. How much joy woman should have to protect the child, or if it's really, really about the joy. Because very often, when, I don't know how it was with us, but when I was pregnant, the first information, I wasn't very happy. My child is quite well. Because I thought that maybe it will be next month. I had a lot of work to do. But fortunately, my child, I hope, she is in Warsaw, but this morning she was fine. So I'm trying to show, I think that maybe not logical, but normal way, that sometimes you are not happy. Sometimes you are really, really happy and something wrong is going on. But this is just the life. I'm really, I wonder if the ladies think that they are guilty. And when I'm sometimes listen, or you can feel that, oh, maybe you should find another woman, especially if there are 3 miscarriages, and now is another problem with the pregnancy. And very often the man is not thinking of that at all, because they want to protect the woman, but because of low self-esteem, guilt, they are pushing husband into another situation, to the divorce. But I can see it, but sometimes I feel very, very hopeless, because we have very short time, especially for, it is connected with the couples who are sending from other hospitals. And for example, they said, oh, we want to do abortion, but this is just the regulation. They need to meet psychologists. And during the meeting, there are so many different, psychological or emotional problems. I think that they should be with me or other psychologists longer than I don't know, 1 hour or 2 hours. So I always give them my telephone number, just in case. And sometimes it means that they're calling and say, okay, it's all right, or look, it's not very good, but could you advise some therapists who could help us? And it's okay. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't answer your question, but I'm talking a lot. So.
Ještě máme 2 minuty na zvědavé dotazy. Maybe I have a question for you. You were talking about groups of parents which are able to share their experiences. How does this work?
I don't know.
Thank you.
It's just because some parents who went through this all the way, I mean, pregnancy, diagnosis, home care service, death of the child, bereavement, some of them is calling me or sending email or just we are talking and say, please, if anybody needs any help, don't forget about me. Mm-hmm. So they really
they offered.
Yeah. It's their idea. Yeah. Sometimes I ask him, what do you think? Could I don't know, give you your telephone number? But always, before I give, even if I know that there is mother or father who wanted to be involved in helping, I always call by myself first, because bereavement is very interesting process. You never know how it is even after 2 or 3 years. So I prefer to call and ask if the offer is still, is still available, and then I'm giving the number. And very often I have 2 telephones after meeting, and I know all details about how it was. Some parents, I mean newly diagnosed parents, asking about the telephone number, but they never call. Mm-hmm. Because I think there's just common fear that if you see the child, for example, if the child is still alive or get some information, it's like that it's for sure that your child is ill.
It's more real.
Yes, it's more real. But I think I didn't put hope in the list of emotion, but they still have hope. And sometimes they said that maybe they don't have the hope for delivering a healthy child, but it's the hope that they can manage. They will be able to take care of the child, that they will be able to take care of other children in the family. They just survived this difficult situation, and sometimes. Meeting with other parents is in this situation is very helpful, because they can see that, I don't know, a mother who's, for example, a teacher, not a doctor, could take care of the child, and she looks normally and she has normal life.
Just like survive.
Yeah, mm-hmm. She could survive. Mm-hmm. I'm very talkative, so please don't provoke any questions, because we will not finish today.
I think we don't mind. Poslední dotaz, bez odpovědi na něž neusnete, jak říká doktor Loučka. Nikdo. Is there any time frame for the parents whose child died in which you never give the number to another parents? I mean, 3 months.
During bereavement.
Yes.
During bereavement, it's a difficult situation, because there is a lot of social communicators, so they don't need my help, because there are some groups for bereaved parents, so they can find support. But in our group, they very often exchange, telephone numbers, emails, and it's accepted. And I think that's really helpful. And this is just the thing I really like, because they are in the groups, but sometimes I know that few parents prefer smaller group. But they are talking about that. I mean, on the group, oh, we met, we talk, but it's just the parents' idea, not mine. Yeah.
It depends.
Yes, it depends.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.